Hey, welcome to Schmooze with Suze. I'm Suze Montgomery, your host. Tonight's show is interesting because a lot is going on about this lately in our community. We've had some homeless issues. They are not new. Those have been going on as long as I moved to Ventura, 30 years ago? Almost 40 years ago. And homeless issues have always been paramount, and it's always been a decision who takes care of the homeless populations. Is it the city? Is it the county? Is it the state? Is it the feds? Frankly, that has not been decided yet, but we at least have something to work with tonight's show that can actually help with homeless populations. And I can see a lot of other areas where it would work as well, not just with homeless populations. I think these are going to be the future. So let's meet our guests. We have Deanna Handel on the end in whole person care. You're the manager with the county behavioral health.
Actually, the healthcare agency. It's a new program called Whole Person Care, and it is meant to coordinate health, behavioral health, and medical services for our at-risk adult Medi-Cal population. So it's a new way of providing services that kind of addresses all needs at once and really hopes to reduce costs while achieving better outcomes for our patients.
So that would be including homeless and other populations, like you said, are at risk, correct?
So frequently these are folks that are going to the emergency room, sometimes 5, 10, 15, 100 times a year actually. Sometimes they can be hospitalized, 5 or 10 times a year. And their needs are not only in healthcare, they are found in our other social service systems, so they can have social service needs for general relief or social security income. They can need behavioral health services, alcohol and drug services. They may be part of our reentry population where they've been recently incarcerated. And so sometimes these folks have all of these concerns going on at once. And so the purpose of whole person care is really to help connect the dots and address any barriers that are having them not be successful in any one of those systems and getting their needs met. And
so this would be like a safety net.
It truly
more
is.
Or less.
It's whatever it takes, care coordination, using a multidisciplinary team. So we have folks who are behavioral health clinicians on our team. We have nurses on our team, and alcohol and drug treatment specialists. We have community health workers, and all of those folks work together in a team-based environment, really trying to coordinate care and getting these patients everything that they need to help move them along to a better outcome.
Is there, is it successful? Is it working?
We're finding right now that it's quite successful. It's a relatively new program, and it's happening. We started in July of 2017, so we've had about 8 months of enrollment, and we found in our first 6 months of the program about 60% of the time we can reduce emergency room visits substantially. So for our top 5 to 7 patients, their emergency room visits came down by 456 visits from the 6 months prior.
That's huge.
So it's huge, but it's not just the cost reductions and the savings and all of those services. It really is providing better care to these patients. They really do better health-wise and mental health-wise when they get all of their needs met. So we can really turn their trajectory, not just in costs, but in their life outcomes.
Well, the coordination of all these different services has got to be crazy. I mean, you're dealing with so many different issues, and it's, scattered more or less, no?
It is. Fortunately, we have a really good team, and we have really good relationships with all of the county service providers and nonprofit organizations that work with this population, and so we work really hard to kind of bring it all together for a patient. And most importantly, we work really hard to help support the patient learn some of these skills ongoing, so that as the program comes to an end, they're able to do some of this stuff on their own, which is really successful really important to the success of the program
Now,
ongoing.
how does that work after they're finished with the program?
So we can do step down to other programs that they may be eligible for, or they may just be very successful on their own. And we've actually had several patients who are doing very well and could probably just do what they need to do by themselves at this point.
How many are you serving?
We're currently, as of this morning, we've enrolled 760 patients in the program.
That's
so
a lot
quite
of
few people. And we hope to, at full speed, will be 880 patients. And then we also just recently received approval to enroll 270 homeless patients who may not meet our utilization criteria, so they're not necessarily going to the emergency room all of the time. But what we're finding is that some of their health concerns are just as advanced as patients that we do enroll. It's just that they're completely flying below the radar screen of services, so they're really not getting their needs met at all. They may not have engaged with the healthcare system for 10 years. And so our job is to really reconnect them at the right place within the system.
So you do basically, when they come in, you do an assessment, and, and they come to you voluntarily, or
Yes.
sometimes they're the court system?
All of our services are voluntary. We often get referrals from other providers who are working with these patients, and we do a lot of outreach as well. And so most patients are really thrilled to have the extra support and kind of sense making of the entire system, and so they're thrilled to be working with us. We typically are able to keep them in the program for many months at a time.
Oh, I can see how beneficial this is going to be down the road. I mean, because if you can, somehow stem the tide especially from emergency room visits, I mean, that's going to be huge right there.
Yes.
Because that's where the biggest impact is felt.
Yeah.
So the funding is through the county that gets it, through the feds, or the state?
It's kind of a combination of funding. It's through Medicaid funding through Medi-Cal, which is run through the Department of Healthcare Services in the state of California, and so there is a county match and Medi-Cal dollars for these services.
Is there anything like this anywhere else?
Interestingly, we started out with a cohort of 18 other counties that applied for this funding at the same time as we did. So we have, our big counties like Los Angeles and San Diego who are also participating, but some small counties too, and medium size. And all of us are learning alongside each other about really what it takes to work with this population.
At the same time,
yes,
like that they've been doing this as well. So there's not a huge history. So this is kind of a pilot. It's a pilot program. It lasts through December 31st, 2020, and we're hoping, something like it may continue on afterwards. And then there were also 7 new counties that, after they kind of saw what the first 18 counties were doing, applied in the second round of funding. This would be interesting to watch this on a national model too. I mean, certainly. Not that it's going to work on a national model, because we don't know where the funding is going to probably be, and even if there is any. Right. Especially with the administration, but it's going to be interesting to watch and how successful it is and how you reach the benchmarks. Yes, increasingly there are a lot of similar program models out there all around the country. Really? Probably the oldest, the most mature is in Camden, New Jersey, with the Camden Exchange, and their founding physician, Dr. Jeffrey Brenner, got a MacArthur Genius Award for kind of conceptualizing this whole idea of these patients who are truly outliers in terms of the amount of services that they receive and the needs that they have, and finding better ways to address them. So you're running this program, huh? Yes. Big job. It's a good one. It really is. Well, I think by just speaking with you, I am very gratified that you're doing it, because you're very knowledgeable about this, and I can see a certain steely resolve. You'll get this done. We will. All of us. Yeah. Let's talk about these two over here. Two of my favorite people. This is my friend Vern Alstott, who is sitting in the middle here, and Vern and I go back a long time, and George Magana, who I just met today too. But Vern, you've got the most interesting bio of just about anybody I know. Want to share it with everybody else?
Well, I really don't know if I want to share the whole thing.
Okay, lead out the savory details.
Well, let's just say I've been in the public safety service for 38 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time, and During that time, I've had lots of opportunities to do a lot of fun things and learn a lot of things and fail at a lot of things. So, but following that, I actually started a disaster support company with my wife and ended up in Haiti following the earthquake. So spent a year there for a month. It was tough. It was really different, and the value of life there is interesting and much, much different than here. But in that same process, we do the logistical support for disaster services. My company went there first, and we did that there. We lived in basically care pods, like we're talking about now. And and then came back and started doing logistical support for a while and fire. So we provide mobile services, mobile trailers, and over-the-counter medical supplies and things like that. George has been my accountant for some time and basically helped with that quite a bit. I spent a short stint in Santa Paula for 2 years and helped with the transition, which we talked about just today. They have just moved from being Santa Paula City Fire, and as of July 8th, successfully, they are now Ventura County Fire.
That's
and
fantastic.
Sustainable for eons. Very
Thank God.
Thank
they
heavens.
were really in bad shape.
and in
I'm
great
glad.
need. And the best part is all 18 firefighters will move over to Ventura County.
That's huge.
Yep.
That's a great accomplishment.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So
You've worked with it hard.
yes, but I think the thing I would never have suspected that I would be doing this. And what we're doing is we construct, we build, and we're leasing these care pods, which are
Okay.
modular units.
These modular units look like a pod. The ones that like it's stainless steel.
You'd think it was a shipping container if you passed it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what it looked like to me. And that's it. And it's fully contained. And it's got inside is fitted out with restrooms.
Yeah, that's the modular part of it.
Okay.
So
So explain to us.
What we did was we took a specific style of unit, and there's currently a company in town called Portastore, which
Okay.
Matt Witherspoon owns, and with his father. And so we've collaborated with them, and they have a specific style of storage unit that we could actually utilize channels, and we could modularly put things in for whatever the needs were. So we worked with Deanna and with Jerry Foreman and with Johnson Gill, and we came up with a plan of what they thought they might want. And what I told Deanna early on is it will probably change once we build things. So the modular system allows us to do that during the fabrication, if we know soon enough, we can make it whatever they want it to be.
Oh, so you can customize.
Yes. So
Excellent.
currently, looks like a container, a shipping container, a storage building, 26 feet long, 8 feet wide, 9 feet tall. Okay. There's not a permeable surface in it. It's all stainless steel, aluminum, metal, and the high-grade plastic floor that allows for drainage, et cetera, that you would use at a water treatment plant.
Wow.
When you open the doors, it's like a transformer. The doors open up, basically the ramps come down, steps come down, doors are available, wheelchair accessible shower, 3 other showers inside. The unit also has 3 sinks inside, 4th for a treatment room, an 8-foot by 8-foot treatment room that they can utilize for the services they're providing. So that was the first design. I think that we might extend some shower systems in the next ones, but it was just who knew? And the difference between us and, say, Lava May is our price. We were asked, what could you do? And what we said was, well, give us a couple days,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. We do, our charge for 1 month is the same price as Lava May's for a day. So it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And
no
it's all
decision
local,
there.
and it's all Ventura County people working on these, and it's all fabricated here. So the nice part is
It is local.
it's-
Keep it. Yeah.
it's local. And so,
Yeah, one thing I can say about working with Woodstot as a vendor is that they go above and beyond the call of what we've experienced with a typical vendor. So when we were setting up in Santa Paula, they helped us navigate kind of planning with the city. They helped us install the sewer connections, which was kind of beyond their scope of work, and they really helped us make it happen. And that was really critical because it was our first pilot unit. It needed to be a success, and it really was. And I think their tireless energy is what made it happen there.
You know,
Thank you.
this is, I'm, like I said at the beginning, I've known Vern a long time, and
Yeah.
Vern's got, he's in the present, but he also has a history of knowing how things work and working within governments and small municipalities and cities. He was a fireman, he was a policeman. I mean, he really has a full body of work, so he knows how they work intimately, and how how the systems work. And that's most important, because the systems are really confusing to the outsiders. Because in the city of Ventura, in the county of Ventura, it's a maze. And to be able to navigate that like you can, and seamlessly, you can just move in and out. And it works, and he's the perfect person for doing this. And I'm fascinated by this, because I really can see where these would be so beneficial in so many different instances. Disaster, like we had, with the fire, the Thomas fire, I mean, and but the homeless, right now in the city of Ventura, they're all scratching their head, and they're all going, what are we doing with the homeless? We don't have a homeless shelter. So, but they didn't know where to send people for services. It's always been the issue, well, the city's going to do it, and then they go, well, the county's going to do it. Well, kudos to the county for stepping up and saying, hey, we're going to do it. And for Johnson Gill to get out there, and Mikey Powers, and to actually make this thing happen. And with your experience, to be able to do this and navigate the ways to do this to make it actually effective, I think this can go anywhere.
It's because she never goes home.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Are
she
you one of
lives
those
at her
people
office.
that always work?
No, I try.
You live in a pod.
No, I don't live in a pod.
Yeah.
Work-life balance is, a goal of all of ours.
So what are you going to do with this, George? Are you the bean counter guy? Are you the guy?
I am the bean counter, yeah.
Okay, so you're the one that makes the numbers work so they can actually do their work, correct?
Yes. And I participate as well as some fabrication. So I have most of my background is in automotive. I worked in the automotive field for 20 plus years, and then I'm actually in the mortgage business now. So I have a little bit of...
You've got a lot of talent.
Yeah, he's
well,
one of
that
those
would be
guys
good.
that can punch on the keyboard, do
Get under
numbers,
the hood.
and still
Yeah.
has a propeller head and can turn a wrench.
Right
They're
and
hard to
left.
find.
Yeah.
Right and left brains are very rare.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, they're
So
lucky
Vern
to
and I
get you.
make a good team.
Yeah.
We get along
see
great.
that.
I could
Yeah.
not do what we do. I just leave the whole, okay, what's it going to cost? What are we going to do? It's your problem, George.
Okay.
And then he turns back to me, well, the rest of it, the logistics and coordination, that's your problem, Vern. And it's like, that works good.
Where are you going to put these installations in the county? Do you have them now?
Yes, so
Like you
we launched in Santa Paula in December at El Buen Pastor Methodist Church in their parking lot, and so that
okay.
operates weekly on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, and
people know where to go.
people know where to go, and we bring to it our one-stop services. I don't know if you're familiar with our one-stop program, but it's basically a weekly event where all service providers come together and bring their services to the homeless population in one location. For a time, and we're also available on Mondays in Ventura at the River Haven site.
Oh, you're in River Haven.
Yes,
Okay.
we are.
I know that
So
well.
the city was helpful in grading the space to allow us to put the pod down safely. We're there in the afternoons, 12:30 to 3:30 on Mondays, and I'd say during these events we probably have between 20 and 25 people regularly showing up and having not only
Excellent.
the showers but also all of the other important services that they can receive there. So things like mental health assessments and referrals, alcohol and drug treatment services. Our mobile medical unit comes out, which is a full medical clinic on wheels. So they have access to that while they're there. At River Haven, we do communicable disease testing and a needle
Wow.
exchange. So
You're comprehensive.
there's quite a bit out there, and even down to just kind of the personal things that people need. So we've brought barbers out to do haircuts for folks on a volunteer basis there. So we had some barbers who were formerly residents at the Rescue Mission in Oxnard, and they came and as part of their trade, they did haircuts. For the
Again,
homeless
this is
population.
community coming together to make it
Yeah.
work better.
It
You know
really
what,
is.
Suze, there's something else too that's kind of, I just want to tell you a quick story. Is one of the units is white and the other's tan. The one in Santa Paula is tan. The one we set up in River Haven is white. And we're thinking like, it's going to get graffiti, right?
I bet not.
It did not. For weeks, it did not. And then some passing person that wasn't a regular there did just like paint something on it. And the locals down there, the homeless, were upset.
Because that's their
That's their
pod.
pod.
Yes.
Took
So
ownership of
I
it.
went back and I went back, before we were going to open the next Monday, and I was painting it out, and these people are coming, hey, give us that, let us do that, we want to do that, and it was like,
Oh, wow, how rewarding.
it was. And I think that going down there, I show up at Santa Paula almost every opening, at least once, every time, or River Haven, just to make sure things are going well. But I kind of stuck around, and I met some of the homeless there, and it's like, it's amazing how much difference it makes to them.
Sure is.
And even I've kind of befriended, I'll just say he's Mikey, I won't say his last name, but he's this bicycle enthusiast. He wants to build this bicycle tent he can pull. It's a really great idea. He's looking at all the aluminum on this thing, and he goes, boy, if I could get some of that. And I go, I got scraps. So we're going to set him up, but it's just kind of fun to interact and
Watch
go.
it evolve.
Watch it evolve, and to see the ownership that they put on these units and the value they put in what's going on. It's
And then you're working
heartwarming.
with 501c3s, you're working with nonprofits as well,
Exactly,
correct?
yes.
So like Turning Point
Turning
and Project to
Point,
Understanding.
Salvation Army
Salvation
provides
Army,
some case
okay.
management services for us. So it really does take a village to make this happen.
I'm intrigued by this because I can see the, potential down the road and where these would go and how they would enhance a community rather than detract.
Right.
It's like miracle stuff. How do you get the word out to your clients? How do they know how to find you?
Well, I think the first time we actually just showed up and kind of opened up and started talking with people, and we've really been slowly embarking on this process of building trust with people to let them know that not only do we have what they want when they want it there, but that we're going to treat them right while they're there. And I think that's an important part of how the
Yes,
service
with dignity and
is
kindness and
delivered.
respect,
Yes.
which everybody wants.
Exactly.
And this is such a wonderful enhancement rather than, just giving them, a sack of food and then
Right.
they go away. But this is whole person care.
Exactly.
And I think whole person care is when you take care of their soul, but you take care of all of them and they
Yeah.
feel it and they know that.
In Santa Paula, I'd say Kay Bolton was very
Oh,
instrumental.
she's fabulous.
Yes,
Isn't
she
she
is.
great?
Yes, she is.
She's a gem.
Yes, she is. And but she really was instrumental to helping in
She
Santa
was.
Paula, bringing things together to where in Santa Paula, 3/4 of the homeless are getting showered.
Isn't that wonderful?
Amazing. It's a smaller group, but it doesn't matter. She
No.
just keeps pulling people
You
through.
see, and there's no cutoff, so you could keep on returning and returning.
Yes, you can. As long as we have them there, people can come and use them.
Rules?
And
Any rules?
we try and keep the rules minimal and practical to keep everyone safe and to keep the pod functioning. But we really don't want to impose a lot of rules on people. We want them to come and experience the services and get what they need.
This is a miracle. This is a gift.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed by this.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we help you get the word out? Just by
Just by talking about it and sharing what's important about it, and kind of acknowledging, I think, our partners. So, Kay Wilson Bolton went out on
Correct.
a limb to make this happen. The church definitely went out on a limb to make it happen. Our partners in River Haven, the city, also really helped to make it happen. And so I think they need to be acknowledged
I
there.
think Sergeant Jerry Foreman was extremely instrumental in getting things pulled through,
Yeah.
along with assistance from Chief Ken Corney. So it was
Ken Corney's.
They made those
I
things
could see
happen.
where he would really
Right.
be, very helpful.
right.
I think go to city councils. Do you go to community councils as well within other cities?
Yes, we will talk to basically anyone who
Will
will
you
listen
tell
about it.
anybody?
Yes.
Okay, I can give you a list.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I'd be more than happy
Yeah.
to do so. I love this idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a sketchy idea what it was, Vern, but not until I started sitting here going through it in my head about how beneficial, how many people would be utilizing this and how you can change a community
Right.
by just caring.
Right.
And really, it's
Had
the
we
whole body.
had we had units available
Oh,
during
The fire.
yes,
Yeah.
or even like Florida and Texas with their things, we would have sent them out because
Yeah.
they fulfill the same function whether you're homeless or not. You need some place to go
Oh.
for treatment and care.
I can see where these are going to go national.
Okay.
Easily. I totally can see that.
I'm not young enough for that.
Well, we'll find somebody younger than we are. And we'll get the right, Deanna?
You know,
Deanna's got it.
your former councilman here was Brian Brennan. He was also instrumental in carrying things along and helping us
Good for
move
him.
through some, I'd say, just some political hurdles that are always there.
Okay.
Because there's both sides, and I understand that. But
I can't see it where anybody would be opposed.
well,
for.
you know, there's just things that it's expected, right? We've been around for a long time.
Yeah.
There's just other ideas, which is okay, but ultimately,
Maybe it's okay, but it's not okay.
but
you
we
know?
succeeded,
You
right,
gotta take,
Deanna?
Yeah,
We
you gotta
succeeded.
take care
we
of
made it happen.
But it succeeded, right?
Well,
Because
it's
people
it was
helped.
meant to.
There you go.
I think the important thing to remember about these two is that we're really hoping to bring all these things together to really put people on a path towards more stability.
Correct.
And so it is getting them the mental health services that they need so that, you know, they can function better in society. It is getting them alcohol and drug services so that they can turn around an addiction. It is about turning around health conditions and getting people health access where it, you know, preventive services before they become extreme conditions, and also housing services. So everyone who comes through, we put through the housing management information system, and we've actually been able to place 3 people in permanent housing
That's fantastic.
just since February, actually, just through the pods. So.
Well, that to me is almost one of the biggest features of all, because prevention's always easier than remediation.
Yeah.
And it's always cheaper, you know, when they're looking at the bottom line, right, George?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just check it in. Just check it in. But it does make a dramatic difference for the decision makers when they look at that, because that's a huge factor for them. But success, and the community success, and the whole person's success, the people, a miracle. Vern, you were meant to do this.
I couldn't do it without George or Deanna.
All 3 of you.
It's exciting to be part of a great program and see the good things that it's doing for our community, for people that are getting back on their feet and transitioning back into housing and all the other things that the services offer. So.
The needs are great. I'm looking at the homeless population in the city of Ventura. I call them houseless. They're more houseless than homeless. And I'm looking at their needs, and I'm looking at a new population, the population I work with. I work with seniors.
Right.
And I'm looking at seniors. I mean, most don't have pensions. They're on Social Security, and now with the rental market the way it is in the city of Ventura, I mean, they can't make that. So what are we going to do there? So if you can help us by doing what you do, that's just another piece of the puzzle we need to make them successful and to let them know that they are cared for. And we do care for them as a community.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Thank
Sue.
you.
Wow, what a treat. You made my day.
Us
I
too.
feel 1,000 times better. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.